Good morning friends. Today I am back with a topic that's name is how to prove that square root of 2 is irrational. So this is 10th class chapter. I will make it easy to understand. For proving that the square root of 2 is irrational, we can use the method named by contribution method. So at first we would learn what is the meaning of contribution method. Contribution method means first we have to assume that the square root of 2 is a rational number, and next by simplifying some formulas and some tricks we would prove that the square root of 2 is irrational. Or we will prove that first assumption, what we have assumed that square root of 2 is a rational number, we will prove that it is a wrong assumption. So let's we start our equation. At first I will write that square root of 2 is in P by Q form. At first I will write what means square root of 2 is equals to P by Q. Square root of 2 is equals to a rational number where this Q, denominator Q, is not equals to 0 and P by Q are, P and Q are co-prime numbers. P by Q are co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers means these two numbers only divisible by one, not by another number. Now, such like numbers we call co-prime numbers. Now we would start to solve and prove square root of 2 is an irrational number. At first I would write like this equation and take the square of two sides, then square root of 2 square is equals to 2 and P by Q fraction square is equals to P square by Q square. Now if I take this Q square term into LHS side, I got that 2 Q square is equals to P square. When I would take this 2 term into LHS, RHS side, I got that Q square is equals to P square by 2. Now we would have to use one mathematical theorem, that is if P is divisible, P square is divisible by x, then x means any some integers. Now then P, only P is also divisible by x. This is a mathematical theorem. We would apply this theorem to this equation. Then we would get P is equals to 2k, means k is another integer, that if we would multiply k into 2, then we get P. Now we had founded a new equation, so we would take this equation to this equation, then Q square will be Q square and P square means P means 2k na, so we would take P as 2k and denominator 2, and C mentioned that they in this equation they had given P square, so we had taken P is equals to 2k square. When we have to take P square, so we will keep this square, and if we simplify it, we get that Q square is equals to 4k square by 2. So now mention that 2 and 4 will cancel. So 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. Now see, q square is equals to 2k square. Now if I take this 2 term into LHS side, I get that k square is equals to q square and 2 divided by 2. If you had mentioned that in this equation p square is also divisible by 2, q square in this equation q square is also divisible by 2. So by this mathematical theorem we get that q is also divisible by 2 and p is also divisible by 2. So this we had found that now we had found that q is also divisible by 2 and p is also divisible by 2. Then in this formula we had talked that q, p and q are co-prime numbers, but by this we can see that p and q are not equal to co-prime numbers. So by this we can prove that square root of 2 is not equals to p by q, means square root of 2 is not a rational number. Now we have proved that the square root of 2 is not a rational number. Then it automatically proven that the square root of 2 is a rational number. Thank you for watching my video.